أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد اللهم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي آمين يا رب العالمين. Hvala i zahvala gospodaru si svjetova, salavat i salam na poslanika Muhammeda sallallahu alejhi ve sellem u porodicu uzete česte ashabe i na svani koji kroče njegovom stazom na sudnjeg dana. Molimo gospodara svjetova da bude na putu istine. Amin ja rabbel alamin. Večeras ako Bog da u kratkim crtama koliko nam vrijeme dozvoli, pošto Ramazan nam je tu, ako Bog da miris Ramazana nas dostiže polako, pa sam mislio spomenuti neka pitanja o postu, no međutim večeras mogu se fokusirati dakle od ova dva koja sam ja izabrao možda na jedno zbog dužine. Pošto je rašireno i mnogi su često pitali kad god Ramazan, izostavljanje posta radi uzimanja lijekova. So tonight we go back and forth and of course our subject is some question about the fasting because the Ramadan is there and the rih, you know, the smell of Ramadan is always touching us. So that's why we'll go. I have two questions for tonight. And I may finish only one of them because of timing and because it's a little bit long, but it's okay. We'll try our best, inshallah. So some of these questions were mentioned. The question number one is, of course, the leaving or not fasting because taking some medicine or having some disease. So that go around that. Because usually whenever it's Ramadan there, so the question is coming and asking so often. Dakle, izostavljanje posta radi uzimanja lijekova ili zbog bolesti. Sad se postavljaju mi tu im podpitanja. Dakle, koja vrsta lijekova i koja vrsta bolesti. Normalno da bi čovjek odgovorio potpuno na ova pitanja, treba da poznaje i medicini, ali tako i te neke lijekove, propise, međutim, ja ću ovako generalno ono što je meni poznato, što nije, pitat ćemo ako Bog da oni koji su učevniji, jel? وَفَوْقَ كُلِّ ذِي عِلْمٍ عَلِيمٍ. Iznad svakog učenog postoji najučeniji, jel tako? Dakle, ako je neko recimo uzet ćemo primjer pod terapijom tokom mjeseca Ramazana, dakle, tokom mjeseca Ramazana, ta osoba može, dakle, da ne posti tokom mjeseca Ramazana. Radi uzimanja tih lijekova koji trebaju toj osobi, a propuštene dane da naposti kad se završi Ramazan, normalno ako zdravlje dozvoli. Šta se podrazumijeva ako zdravlje dozvoli? Pošto ima vrsta bolesti. Neke bolesti ne dozvoljavaju insanu da posti kad se razboli. Dakle, to je bolest ebedije, kako se kaže, dakle, bolest koja je konstantna i neizlječiva. I takva osoba šta da radi? Volio bi ili voljela bi da posti, a ne može zbog te bolesti. Dakle, ako bolest dozvoli, insan mora da napusti te dane koje je propustio. A ko je bolestan ili na putu je, neka napusti isti broj dana, Allah dželešanu kaže. Je li tako? وَمَنْ كَانَ مَرِيدًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ. Dakle, ako je bolestan ili ako je na seferu, na putovanju, فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ. Neka napusti isti broj dana koji je preskočio, a koji nije mogao postiti zbog bolesti ili bilo koje druge tegobe, ili ako je na putu, ako je putnik. Ako ne može da napusti dane, vidite ovo sad, ako ne može da napusti dane koje je propustio u mjesecu Ramazanu, onda da fidiju. Šta je fidija? Ja sam o tome govorio poduže, pretprošli Ramazan, ali eto, uvijek se čovjek treba napomenuti oko ovih stvari, pošto nekada se nas zbuni. Dakle, fidija za svaki, dakle, potrošeni, odnosno propušteni dan, treba da nahrani jednog siromaha. Od prilike 15-20 dolara, odnosno onoliko koliko ti trošiš na sebe. Jer pravilo je, dakle, zašto? Jer ako ti trošiš na sebe $100, ne možeš ti kazati, dobro, za fukaru je dovoljno $10. računaš po sebi ono koliko tebi hrana i na to daješ. A ako je i to u nemogućnosti zbog siromaštva, ne može da je dakle ispuni, ta osoba se oslobađa obavez. Dakle, nije obavezna da to odradi. So tonight the question, as I mentioned, is around disease or taking some kind of medicine. So what we are supposed to do in this case? What's going on? Come on, move. So not fasting because of taking some medicine or kind of therapy or certain kind of disease. Of course, there is a sub-question, which kind of the medicine the person is using, which kind of therapy, and what kind of the disease. So in order for us to answer all this, of course, the person must know a little bit from medicine, but we'll not go deep to that. We'll leave this subject to others, but we'll answer as much as we can from my perspective. So let's say if a person is under therapy, certain therapy, during the month of Ramadan, during the fasting days, that person can, if he or she wants not to fast because of those kind of therapy, because of taking this medicine, because after a couple of hours you have to take new one, and so on. But once the finish month of Ramadan, all skipped days, you have to make them up. That is rule. And that is well known to us. As Allah says, if you are sick, if somebody is amongst you sick, or he is traveler, فَعِدَّةٌ مِّنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. Let him fast, or let she fast, same number of days that skipped already. So if it's 5, then you have to fast 5 days. So not more and not less. Exact same number of days. If that person, for some reason, cannot fast because of disease and because of this kind of medicine, so then that person must do fidya. Do you know what's fidya? So fidya, I spoke two Ramadans back about fidya. Whole subject was fidya. So for every missed day during the month of Ramadan, must feed one person, fuqara, one poor person, which is around 15 to 20 bucks for the vast majority. But as a scholar says, as you feed yourself, if your meal is $100, you have to do it according to your possibility, not your accounting. Okay, in Africa, they are enough for them is $2, so I will pay that one. No, what do you eat? You're not taking because of Africa. You're living over here. How much you pay for your breakfast, for your dinner, for lunch? That's how much you pay fidya. That is the most valuable opinion. So it's around, let's say, $15, $20. If that person is not able to pay the fidya because of not having enough, because that person is poor, so then that person is not obliged to do anything. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yukallifullah nafsan illa ma atah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not put burden over the person that he cannot take over. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive you. But he knows the best of the condition. Ok. Drugo potpitanje, šta je fidija i šta je fida? Koja je razlika između fidije i fida? Zna li neko od vas? Fidija je dakle iskupljenje. A šta je fida onda? Znači fidija, iskupljenje znači iskupljenje, otkup, spas, otkupnina i tako dalje. To jest obaveza ili kompenzacija koju čovjek daje zbog propusta u nekom od ibadeta. Pazite, od nekih ibadeta. U ovom slučaju kojem smo mi večeras je u stvari post. Post. Po mišljenju nekih, dakle, alima, fida, riječ fida je, dakle, sam čin iskupljenja, fida, ono što radi čovjek, a fidija je u stvari imetak koji se daje kod iskupljenja. Dakle, fida je sam čin iskupljenja, a fidija je, dakle, ono što se već daje, da li to bilo novčana ili bilo koja druga vrsta fidije, da li hrana i tako dalje. So another sub-question that we have here is, what is fidya and what is fida? Do you know what is fidya and fida? You're busy with the phone. You're on the phone, so yeah, that's how. So do you know what's fidya? Yeah. What is fidya? What is fida? Do you know?
Fidya is the one you just told us.
Yeah, fidya. What is fida? You don't know. Okay, so fidya and fida, there is little slice, very slight difference, So it is basically atonement, redemption, salvation, ransom, we can say it that way, because it's obligation of compensation that a person gives due to omission in some acts of worship. In this case, we're talking about fasting. So there is fasting, fidya in it. So fida, according to some of the scholars, is act itself. Fida is act itself, and fidya is the things that you give, either money or food. So that is different between those two. But usually we don't use fida. We just say fidya in general, because that is vast, well known, the term that we use always. But of course, the scholars, they are very, precise. They're telling you the fidya and fida is not same. It is not same, even linguistically. But for us, like ordinary people, everything is fidya. So it's okay. So fidya, both of them are saying same thing. Okay. So next question. Sljedeće pitanje, ko daje fidiju? So next question is, who is giving fidya? Okay? So now we can go on the phones. You can check the email. Dakle, ko daje fidju? Post mjeseca Ramazane, dakle, normalno zahtjevan, jel tako, poduhvat, psihofizički ibadet. Dakle, povezana je i psiha i, dakle, normalno fizički ibadet. I Allah Đelešanu ima za njega posebnu nagradu, kako je već spomenuto. I druga stvar, što Allah Đelešanu iz svoje milosti, u stvari, nekim kategorijama ljudi, koji imaju opravdan razlog, podlačimo ovdje opravdan razlog sa šerijatske strane, ne zbog našeg dakle, odluke. Dakle, dozvolio je da ne poste. Oni koji se, dakle, stanje promijeni, pošto stanje nekada čovjek bude bolestan, fati ga 2-3 dana u Ramazanu, ne znam, ili 15 dana, ili 20 dana u Ramazanu, pa ozdravi čovjek. Dakle, bio je bolestan, pa je ozdravio insan, nastavlja post ono što je ostalo od Ramazana. Ili ako je, recimo, putnik, otputovao pa se vratio, nastavlja post, dakle, onaj je stao. Normalno, kad budu u stanju, onda ponovo napuštene dane što su propustili dok su bili u tom stanju, da li u stanju bolesti ili u stanju putovanja. Dakle, tu je, dakle, imaju obavezu izdvajanja fidije. Dakle, koji se stanje ne mijenja, a ovdje mislimo, dakle, kažemo da se ne mijenja, recimo, konstantna bolest, neizlječiva bolest, da nas Allah Đelešanu sačuva takve vrste bolesti, takvi ljudi imaju, dakle, obavezu izdvajanja fidije, pošto ne može postati. Zato Allah Đelešanu, dakle, da bi dobio sevap, vidite, recimo, u svakom ibadetu imate neki, dakle, savjet, hadis, gdje je poslanik alejhi selam savjetuje da imi nešto, recimo, kad ode ljudi na hadž, vidiš, dan Arefata, ovi koji su kod kuće, mi postimo što, da bi, dakle, malo osjetili mi taj hadž, da bi mi dobili neku nagradu. Ne znam nija, pa kad je Muharrem, Ašura, pa da se posti i tada, pa 6 dana poslije Ramazana, pa da se sa Ramazanom stvori godina. Dakle, puno je tih, dakle, hadisa koji govore o tim volonterskim, da bi čovjek dobio tu nagradu. Isto, dakle, ovdje ako čovjek stanje, bolest, neizlječiva bolest, ne popravlja se, ne ide nabolje, onda čovjek je, dakle, prinuđen, obavezno mu je dakle da izdvaja fidiju. Pošto ne može da posti, ima fidija. I tako na taj način bude poput postača, da ga Allah dželešanu nagradi za taj trud koji dakle zahtijeva isto da čovjek izdvoji iz imetka. Okay, so who gives the fidya? So fasting the month of Ramadan, first of all, is demanding psychophysical act of worship because it's connected. Some people say it's very hard to fast, but they always say there is some click in your head. There is button. You do push it, it tells you, hey, it's Ramadan, you cannot eat. So then you push it and you're okay. But some people cannot control that. So it is between psycho and physical act. It's like a prayer as well. So there's a cleanse, they have to go wudu and then, come. So it's spiritual and physical cleanse as well. So that is act of worship for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the other thing is out of His mercy and out of His hikmah or wisdom, He subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed some categories, not everybody, some categories of people who have a valid reason. And by valid reason, we say here the shari'i, not because I say I'm sick, I cannot fast. Maybe a little bit stomach here, there, that's my reason. But Islamic reason, from that mentioned in the Quran, in the holy text, in the Quran or Sunnah, they have right, because that category not to fast. So those whose condition changes, being sick during the month of Ramadan or a couple days, and then the rest of the Ramadan, that person is able to fast. So it should continue. Same thing, traveler. During the traveler, you're not fasting, but once you come back, you just continue as you are. But if the sickness or disease, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from this kind of disease that is forever. There is no cure for it. So those people have right. Actually, it's obliged to them. They cannot fast, but there is something called fidya. In order that there's so many acts of worship we can do to assimilate or to associate with those who are doing some kind of the acts of worship. So we are recommended to do it as well, right? For example, people on the Hajj, we say that tomorrow is day of Arafah. What do? We do fast, right? Or we are trying to fast. So to have that feeling over there with the Hajj, with Hajjis people, so that we are fasting. Of course, they don't fast over there, but we are fasting who are at home. So we are trying to fast to get reward as they are get rewarded as well. Or for example, day of Ashura, or for example, 6 days of Shawwal after Ramadan, and then connected to 30 days. So it's like a whole year. That's a great reward for us. So these things are so many texts are coming in the hadith telling us to fast to get reward. So that is one of the reasons. If disease is there is no cure for it, it doesn't go better. Even sometimes goes worse than it was. So those people are obliged to set aside fidya. So they have to do fidya instead of fasting because they cannot. But Allah will reward them for their effort during that paying or giving fidya. Ok, druga stvar. Govoreći o obavezama, dakle, obaveznosti posta, mi znamo da je post tako obaveza, jedan od stubova Islama. I Allah dželešanu kaže u suri Bekara 184. ajet, onima koji ga jedva podnose, otkup je da jednog siromaha nahrani. Dakle, Allah dželešanu propisao nam je propise koji se treba pridržavati. Normalno ovdje sad postoji tumačenje koji se prenosi od Abdullah ibn Abbas radijallahu anhu, da je dakle ovaj ajet, da kaže Abdullah ibn Abbas ovaj ajet, kaže ovi propisi, kaže nije derogiran, što znači nije poništen. Odnosi se, kaže, na starca, na staricu koji ne mogu postiti zbog iznemoglosti, pa će, kaže, za svaki dan nahraniti jednog siromaha. Normalno ovo nije sve. Jer pod ovim drugi učenjaci, kao što je recimo u naše vrijeme Jusuf Kardavi i druga ulema koji su stali i oni koji teško rade, dakle mnoge situacije u kojima se čovjek nalazi, dozvoljeno je njima dakle da daju fidiju, odnosno da napuste poslije dakle Ramazana. Another thing is here, the speaking about the obligation of fasting. We know that is one pillar of Islam, right? Fasting. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us in the Quran Kareem in the ayah 184, for those who cannot for those who can hardly bear it, which means they're fasting but is very hard to them, very tough. So the redemption is to feed a poor person. So we have evidence. So it is narrated by Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with him, that he said about this ayah specific in Surah Al-Baqarah. He said this regulation is not derogated from, like it is not rejected or it's not deleted, because there is some ayat are with other ayahs are exchanged, but this ayah is not. He said it refers to an old man, old woman who cannot fast because of the age. Maybe they are very aged, so they cannot fast. So they will feed one person, one poor person for each day. That will be their fast of Ramadan. Of course, this narration is authentic. So that is one of the opinions. The other opinions is said, like a newer scholar in our time, like Imam or Sheikh Yusuf al-Qardawi rahimahullah, he says it's not only old men and women, but includes as well those suffering, very hard works, very hard jobs. It's very hot. So different positions of the people where they are working, how the work is hard. So according to that, so they have right to use this excuse as well. So they are included in that. It's not only for old men and old women. Type. Another thing. Druga stvar, da bi nekom bilo dozvoljeno korištenje alternativnog propisa, to jest alternativa fidije, umjesto da postiš, jer dok je bilo lakše možda, znaš šta, tu sam ja mogao i fidiju, da ne postim džaba, da se ne platim, ja ću dati fidiju. Dakle, onaj propis korištenja ili dozvoljeno korištenja alternativnog propisa, odnosno fidije, dakle, uvjetuje se mogućnost napaštanja do kraja života. Ako su mogućnosti da napostiš do kraja života, onda tu da napostiš nemaš pravo korištenja, dakle, na fidiju. Prema tome, onaj kaže ko ne ispunjava ovaj uvjet, ako čovjek ne ispunjava taj uvjet zbog različitih situacija i okolnosti, onda radi fidiju, tako? A ako, dakle, propustuje koliko dana, toliko ćeš dana i da napostiš po normalno koliko ti bude mogućnosti. I ne možeš koristiti, dakle, onaj fidiju. Jer kaže ovdje sad na kraju, kaže zato fidija ne mogu koristiti bolesnik za čije ozdravljenje ima nade. Recimo, bolest ufati u mjesecu Ramazanu, ali ta bolest je izlječiva i čovjek možda na nekoliko dana ili heftu dana ili pred kraj Ramazana ozdravi potpuno, jer je takva bolest ili takva vrsta bolesti koja je izlječiva. Dakle, ima nade, putnik recimo koji će se vratiti sa putovanja, trudnica, neće biti trudna čitava života. Dakle, ima određeni period. Dojilja, neće dojiti čitavog života, dakle, ima određeno koliko doji. I svi ostali, dakle, koji iz opravdanih razloga nisu, dakle, postili neke dane, ili cijeli Ramazan, čak može čovjek da ne posti cijeli Ramazan, ali razlog zbog kojeg nisu, dakle, postili je privremenog karaktera, dakle, nije zauvijek, nije nešto što nema nade za njega. Dakle, fidija je zamjena za napaštanje, a uz mogućnost primjene, dakle, osnovnog propisa u ovome slučaju, dakle, napaštanja, nije dozvoljeno pribjegavanju novoj zamjeni, odnosno u ovom slučaju fidiju govorimo, dakle, to je kazao Alauddin Kasani u Bedaje Sanaje, dakle, jedan hanefijski fik. Another thing is, in order for some to be allowed to use an alternative regulation, in this case, you are talking about fidya. So not everybody is allowed to use fidya. Maybe somebody is easy, I have to fast, I'll just give fidya and I'm done. So no, not really that way. We cannot misuse the Islamic rules or Sharia. That's not allowed. That is like, playing a game. You have to do, if, for example, if it's condition of disease, there is a hope that you will get better soon. Like in Ramadan, maybe a couple days or a couple weeks, but maybe a couple of days you are able to fast because your health is there. So then it's not allowed for you to use the fidya, because you can use whatever you missed, you'll do it after Ramadan and you get full reward, but you will not use the fidya. It's not allowed you, because you get, or for somebody a traveler, you will not travel whole life, right? You're going back. When you're back, you just continue. And whatever you missed, just do it fast. Or for example, pregnant woman, it's not forever. Pregnant woman is a certain amount, it's well known for us. Or for example, nursing woman is nursing forever. No, it's just, some of the time. So then she can make the fasting. Or everyone else who is who for justified reason did not fast, maybe for this or that reason. So then you're not doing fidya, but you will fast whatever you missed. You'll just continue fasting because you are in good health. So there is no need to use the fidya and play with because you are able. Maybe it's easy for you to give fidya instead of the fasting. So fidya is basically substitute for something that is allowed or permissible for those people who are sick forever. The disease there is no cure for it. So then they have valid reason according to Sharia, not to fast. Instead, they will give fidya. That's very obvious, very, very clear, and that is the opinion of the Hanafi school. And here is majority of us Hanafis, right?
So somebody has a valid reason for fidya, and what would is the reward equal for somebody who's fasting and somebody who's paying fidya?
It should be, because it's ayah says, if you cannot fast, then feed the poor. So according to this ayah, should be same reward, because Allah knows the ability if you cannot. So that doesn't mean Allah will decrease your reward, even your wish. I hear many of the very old people, and they're asking, I wish, I feel, but because of disease, it does not allow me to do it. So I have to. Basically, they are under pressure giving the fidya, not willingly, but should not be understood this way, under pressure, because that is excuse from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have to accept it willingly to do so, because we cannot do it this way, so we have this way. But sometimes we are a little bit tough, stubborn. I have to do it because Allah said. But Allah said as well, if you cannot do it this way, so it's it's all, both of them is Allah's way. But sometimes we are preferring one over the other one. So, but Allah is giving us joy. If you cannot do it this way, so then fidya is for you, in order to get reward. So that is. You got it? Yeah, alhamdulillah. Okay. So last level mentioned for tonight. Dakle, zadnja stvar, kad se daje fidija? U koje vrijeme? Dakle, fidija se može dati odjednom. Kad govorimo o fidiji, moraš za čitav mjesec Ramazan, ali u vremenu kad postane obavezno. Ne može dati sad fidija. Ja neću postiti, sad začunam, evo sad, znači mora započeti taj farz koji ćemo da obavljamo, to je mjesec Ramazan, i onda moraš na samom Ramazanu, moraš od pola Ramazana, moraš na kraju Ramazana, dakle, moraš pomalo, moraš odjednom, dakle, zavisi kako ti je lakše. Dakle, tokom mjeseca Ramazana, ne može prije. Dakle, možeš, opcije, isto kad radimo sada kao fitr, većina učenjaka ne savjetuje da se daje odmah na početku mjeseca, nego već od polovine da možeš davati. A najbolje, pred samom kraj. Međutim, u naše vrijeme možda, od samoga početka bi možda i bolje bilo zbog lakše distribucije, da to ne ostane, dakle, na nekim računima, ili ako je u pitanju pare, ili u nekim magacinima ako je u pitanju hrana, i ne dođe do onih koji trebalo doći, prije Bajrama. So last question tonight is when fidya is given, the timing. So fidya can be given at all at once. You don't have to wait for giving little by little. At the beginning of Ramadan, or at the end of Ramadan, or middle Ramadan, whenever is available, but it must be during the month of Ramadan. You cannot do it right now. You calculate how much is fidya and you give it before Ramadan. No, we have to start the fard that we are doing, and then you are giving fidya either on the beginning of Ramadan as a whole at once, or after, middle of Ramadan or so, as sadaqatul fitr, as a scholar says, we are not supposed to give it in the beginning of Ramadan, but at least let pass half of Ramadan, then you start to give sadaqatul fitr. Maybe in our time it's better to give it in the beginning because of collecting and then distributing either money, because money sometimes stays on the account for the long time. It does not reach those who are supposed to reach, because that's not our money. It's basically the money of those who has a right and haq to this money. Or, for example, the food is staying in the, what do you call it, in the storage somewhere, and stays long and does not reach the people that they are in need before the Eid. So maybe in our time we can use that the easiness to collect even in the beginning of Ramadan and send it as much as possible to those who are supposed to go. So that will be for tonight, and shall we continue tomorrow? A couple more questions, talking about about the fidya as well, and then how much is fidya, and then we'll talk about difference between kafarat and fidya, because they're not the same. Sometimes we are mixing, so we'll go back and forth, see what is different between kafara, or what is kafara. Fidya already we know, but what is kafara? So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide and help us. Amin ya Rabbil Alameen. And Assalamu alaikum. Any questions? No questions. You're a good student, mashallah. You are so good.
We are good students. We are good students.
Slučaj šećeraši, da oni unaprijed mogu neko donijeti odluku da zbog šećera možda pa ne moraju probati da poslije kako se desi.
Pa vidi, zavisi ako je pošto ne vidi da je svaka vrsta šećera da je toliko opasna. Najbolje se posavjetiti sa doktorom. Ali u ovome slučaju vidite, kada na je pitanju savjetovanje, moramo paziti da bude čovjek muslima, da zna šta je Ramazan propis, i onda da uzme mišljenje od dakle muslimanskog doktora koji poznaje i propise, recimo vjere i propise medicine, da bi ga uputio na najbolje. Jer čovjek može nekada odlučiti, ima šećer, mislim da neće moći, a nisi ni probao. Znači, treba uzeti isto, recimo što ja znam, jedan učenjak kad je izjavio po pitanju bilo korone, on kaže treba sva ulema muslimanska da se sastane i svi medicinski doktori da se dobro ispita ovaj virus i zabrana za hadž. Kaže, neko će odgovarati predbogo za ovu zabranu, jer nije se donijela adekvatna odluka, nego se poslušalo, ne znam nija koji je izjavio sa zapada, rekao ovako, ljudi su prihvatili. Znači, neke stvari koje se donose odluke treba zaista preispitati, nije lako reći, nema zbog toga taj rekao, dakle, treba ispitati. Isto u ovom slučaju, kada pitam bilo koja bolest, odeš fino kod neko ko se razumije malo, treba i vjeru znati malo i dakle, medicina, da će kaže, iz tih razloga možda ne bi bilo dobro da postiš, morate donijeti štetu, ne znam, na ovo, onda čovjek kaže u redu, ću, dakle, onda umjesto posta ići na fidju. Dakle, bolje bi bilo da se posavjeti nego da odluči sam, a možda može postati. Jer ja vjerujem da ima i tu neke, da nisu ni šećer, dakle ima neka jačina, možda jači i slabiji, ne znam, nije baš mislim da nije sve isto. Allahu alam.
Pola sata ovdje nam priča za nedelju. Tu smo se jesti i idemo kući.
Pa trebalo bi probati, nije baš trebalo bi. Ja, bolje bi bilo. Pa ne bi trebalo svak sebe fetvu baš da zato što je to, pazite, najprije to je odgovornost pred Allahom želešano, dakle nije to baš personalno. Zato bi trebalo u takvim slučajevima baš recimo da dopita ljude koji znaju recimo sa medicinske strane koje su koristi štete, a isto tako i sa vjerske strane koje su koristi i štete. Šta mora čovjek donijeti? Isto recimo dojilja, evo pitan dojilja, dakle ona može svojom odlukom da kaže ja ću postiti mjesec Ramazan. Ali ako vidi da je pozlilo, da će nanijeti štetu njoj ili bebi, onda mora prestati. Ne smije se dovesti u tu situaciju da sebi nanosi štetu, jer šerijat ne nanosi štetu čovjeku, on nosi korist. I zato ste olakšice. Dakle, ona može odlučiti po svojoj fizičkoj snazi i psihi može da odluči, ovaj mjesec ima neki koji i poste, dok imaš neke druge koje su možda malo slabije, ne mogu izdržati. Jer zato što dijete uzma mlijeko, doji, iscrpi insana.
Can you translate?
Yeah, I was asking about
Like
diabetes.
it's like, do you make the decision based on your disease? I can fast, or you have to try first.
Yeah.
And then see if that disease is affecting you, then you stop it. Or you just make the decision just before it and say, I can't do it. And for example, like diabetes patients, do they have to try first and see if they can do it? If not, then
Yeah. So that was the question, but the rule is you don't make fatwa for yourself. It's always better to ask advice from the Muslim doctor who understands a little bit of the Islamic ruling and the medical research. So then combine, you see the benefits and harms, and then you give it a fatwa, because it's not like as it says, even not trying. You say, oh, I have disease, diabetes, for example. I don't fast. I will just give. But did you try it from beginning? The same thing like a rule for the. When was the corona, for example, and one of the scholars will say we have to gather together all Muslim scholars, the religious one and the doctors in medicine, and to search about it, because fatwa, not allowing for the Hajj, somebody will be responsible in front of Allah. Why they stop it? Do they have valid reason? Because if somebody says over there that is not Ameen, just because of that, but did you search for it? So he was calling ulama, both medical doctors and Islamic. So let's sit together and discuss and see and research about it, because it's not easy to say just no Hajj. So, for example, the nursing mom for kids, she can, according to her, the psych and physical, strength, she can say, I can fast, because there is women, they are fasting and they are feeding their child. But if she is getting the weaker and she's harming herself, then she has stopped immediately, because Sharia come to make easy for not to harm us. Sharia is always benefit for us, not harming us. So for that reason, she can in that position, because of her appearance, her body. If she is a strong woman, so that she can continue. But if not, she has stopped, and that fast after the month of Ramadan, after finishing the breastfeeding. So there's a case, but it's always good to ask professionals in both fields in order to get correct, because it's not about us, it's not about our body, but it's about the rule. What is the best for us, as God says, because we were responsible. If you make wrong decision, then there's a consequences.
If you're trying to do it, and just knowing that you have a disease, you're trying to do it, and then you come to a point that disease makes you have to break it.
Yes.
Is that worse than not keeping, knowing that you couldn't keep it, but you still try to keep it and have to?
No. If that isn't very clear. If beginning, like somebody is sick, because we have all people who are pushing themselves till end, but that's not good as well. And if you see that your body is weak, just stop it. You don't have to push it anymore. You try, and that's it. Stop right there, and then just do the fidya. Make it easy. But some people are, especially the older people, are stubborn a little bit. I have to do it, because So, but may God, Allah knows the best, and may God help us and guide us. Assalamu alaikum.